Welcome to English Cafe. Daily English lessons with a touch of coffee, from beginner to advanced.
The night I wanted to go out. My name is Dani, I'm 15, and I live in a small town near Warsaw. Last Friday, something big happened. It was the first time I wanted to go out at night. With no adults, no older cousin, just me and two friends. There was a movie festival in town. All our classmates were talking about it. My best friend Ela said, "Everyone's going. It'll be so fun." When I came home from school, I felt excited. I even picked out a hoodie my mom always says is too black for nice places. I walked into the kitchen where my dad was drinking tea and reading the news. I said, "Hey, can I go to the movie festival tonight? It starts at 8. I'll be with Ela and Max. We'll come back around 11. My dad looked up from his newspaper. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yes either. He put his cup down slowly and asked, "Who else is going?" I repeated the names. Then he asked, "Who will drive you home?" I said, "Max's sister." He raised one eyebrow. "That girl with pink hair?" I nodded. Then he said something I really didn't like. "You can't go." I felt my stomach fall, like when the elevator drops too fast. I said, "Why not? I'm not a baby." He looked at me and said, "You know why." I wanted to shout, but I didn't. Instead, I said, "This is not fair. You always say no." He stood up, walked to the shelf, and came back with a notebook. It had my name on it. He opened it and pointed to a paper inside. It was from 2 months ago, when I stayed out late without calling him. I remembered that day. He was so angry. I was 45 minutes late. He said, "We talked about this. We made a plan together, remember?" I said, "Yes." He showed me the paper. "This is what we agreed. Be back by 9, and I need to know how you get home." I said, "But that was then. This is a different day." He shook his head. I said something wrong. I said, "You just love saying no." "That's not what I meant." He looked serious. He said, "No, Dani. I don't enjoy saying no, but I have a job to keep you safe. And you don't always make good choices when you're excited." I looked at the floor. He sat back down. After a moment, he said, "You think I'm being hard on you." I didn't answer. He continued, "You think I just make things difficult." He wasn't shouting. He wasn't angry. He just looked tired. He took another sip of tea and said, "Let me try to make this clearer." At that moment, I wanted to say, "You're not listening." But he was listening. He was just doing it in a serious way. I said, "Then help me understand." He paused. Then he smiled just a little. "I like that," he said. "Let's talk." We talked for 10 minutes. I told him more about the festival and who would really be there. I admitted that I didn't call last time because my phone died. He said, "See? That's something you need to tell me. Then we can solve it together." I asked, "So, can I go?" He said, "You can go if Max's sister sends me a message when she picks you up. And you come back at 10, not 11. I couldn't believe it. "Deal," I said. And that's how I learned something about my dad. He's not just someone who says no. He's someone who listens if I speak calmly. And he teaches better than some school teachers, just in a different way.
If you love this story and want more like it, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. You'll be the first to get our next episode. And now I want to hear from you. What's one rule your family has that you didn't understand at first? Tell me in the comments. No boring textbooks here. This is real-life English learning, story by story. And it works. You'll feel it. You'll remember it. Vocabulary. Let's review the 5 important words from this story in a way that really sticks. Rule. A rule is something you must follow. It can be about time, behavior, or safety. Example, you can't eat in class. That's a rule. A rule is not just an idea, it's something you're expected to follow. In school, no phones in exams is a school rule. At home, one rule is dinner at 7. While traveling, you must follow airport rules. With friends, we made a rule, no phones at lunch. At work, late arrival breaks the company's rules. Parent. A parent is your mother or father. Sometimes people mix up parent and relative, but parent is direct family. Example, my parent works at a bank. In school, I need my parent's signature. At home, my parent makes the best tea. While traveling, I'm going with my parent. With friends, my parent said no sleepovers. In emails, talk to your parent about this. Strict. If someone is strict, they want rules to be followed exactly. People often confuse this with mean. But strict is not always bad. It means serious about rules. Example, she is strict but fair. In school, my math teacher is strict. At home, dad is strict about bedtime. While traveling, the guide was strict about time. With friends, her mom is strict about phones. At work, my boss is strict with deadlines. Understanding. This means someone listens and tries to feel what you feel. It's often confused with smart, but understanding is about emotion. Example, she's understanding when I'm sad. In school, the counselor is understanding. At home, mom is very understanding. While traveling, the hotel staff were understanding. With friends, he's understanding when I'm late. At work, a good leader is understanding. Explain. To explain is to make something clear. Many people say, make me know, but the right word is explain. Example, please explain this math problem. In school, can you explain this word? At home, dad explained how to cook rice. While traveling, the driver explained the route. With friends, let me explain my idea. At work, he explained the schedule clearly. Want to remember these words forever? Try this. Write your own story with at least 3 of these words. Even 4 sentences is enough. And don't forget, we've got a new story waiting for you next time. See you there.